Good evening, sim race fans, and welcome to the World Center of Racing, the Daytona International Speedway, for the inaugural ASCORS SegPay Truck Series presented by Garrett Smithley Racing. Joining me, Andy Kessler, topside in the LSRTV booth, is Gabriel Wood, and as always, our producer, Cisco Scaramouza, is down in the trailer getting the picture to you. Gabe, welcome to Daytona. We've seen it a lot over the last couple of weeks as NASCAR embarks on its season opening Daytona 500 this coming Sunday. Of course, all the leagues, all their action has all been focused also here at Daytona. And what a better place than to get the season started right here. A new season, a new league, all set, ready to go here at Daytona.
Yeah, Andy, these guys, when they schedule these leagues, they're not forced to start off at Daytona to start their season. We see a couple of leagues start off at places like Charlotte or Chicago or somewhere like that, but it's just kind of symbolic, to start off your year, and for these guys, start off their league to run here at Daytona, get on the high banks, and give everybody a shot at that first win.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those places you come in, everybody's got an opportunity to win, everybody's got their hopes up. It's the beginning of a new season. A solid run will get you started going in the right direction as far as the championship run goes. But at the same time, a bad finish, getting caught up in a wreck, it's not the end of the world. You have the rest of the season to go. And in this case, you'll have 11 more races after tonight to get it done. So it's one of those things, get that wild card out of the way, have some fun at the same time to get the season open. And it's one of those, I wouldn't say it's an easy place to drive because by no means is Daytona easy, especially when you start getting these huge packs with the trucks, especially the big hole they punch into the air. It allows these trucks to really suck up onto the back of each other, and they end up just producing some great racing when you come to the plate track. So it's one of those places, the nerves are going to be there. It's the season opener. I mean, everything is just on the line. It's Daytona, and to win even, the series opener, the season opener, the series opener, everything about it, everything that goes with it. It's just a pretty cool thing we got going tonight.
Yeah, this is the second of the league debuts we've had here on LSRTV. In the recent months, we've had the Domino's series. They got off rolling, and that's a great series, and they got it off started at Charlotte about a month ago. I expect the same thing from this series. These guys, they had a long time to prepare, had a long off-season, a preseason, getting everybody in, and Brian Schoenberg, he's done a great job of putting this league together.
Yeah, he has. You mentioned they had some races over the last couple months, kind of like some get to know the drivers kind of thing, get guys who were interested in the league to come in, and they kind of almost handpick, based on the driving skills at the different tracks of who they basically wanted in the series. And we got quite a mixture. I mean, you're going to recognize some of these names that drive in NASCAR in the Camping World Trucks or even in the Xfinity series, and at the same time, the pros that drive in the Peak Antifreeze series right here in iRacing. So that mixed in with some really good A drivers. You look down the list, I mean, it's loaded with a lot of talent, and it should make for a great season, not only a great race tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just looking through the entry list we've got for the full series, unfortunately, some of these guys not making it here to Daytona. For some foreseeable reasons because of the schedule these guys have. Drivers like Parker Kligerman and Timmy Hill, they're going to be in Daytona either driving or with the broadcast team. They've got busy schedules, and those guys are in this league, and we expect to see them during the season. Drivers we really want to see: Adam Gilliland, Ray Alfala, all these guys, even Logan Clampett, Clamp Nation.
Well, sorry about that. Some technical difficulties with our team speak here on the internet, so we apologize for that. But we were just talking a little bit about the drivers that had entered into this series and talking about some pro NASCAR drivers, talking about some iRacing peak antifreeze pro drivers that we just saw a bunch of those guys battle it out right here on LSRTV a couple months back here, getting ready for the peak antifreeze series to come that will start actually this coming Tuesday. So interesting to see all that happen as things go along. Of course, the ASCORS Cup Series will be getting set to go next Sunday night too. Also, so a lot of things going on here with this league, brand new league, putting together, and then of course everything that goes on weekly with LSRTV. But with that said, though, overall. Obviously, we don't have any standings or anything like that to go over so far for this series, but I'm expecting a great series. As you look at the schedule, just the tracks, Gabe, that as far as what they're going with it, you get the mile and a halfs in there with Atlantas and the Kentuckys, and then you throw in a Pocono to end the season. You got 5 flags with a short track, Martinsville. I mean, it's just even Gateway Motorsports Park's in there for these trucks. So really a diverse schedule for this group of drivers, and it should make for an outstanding season.
Yeah, Andy, you're talking about the schedule and you're talking about the wild card that is Daytona. That's not really the only wild card on the schedule because we have Martinsville and we have Dover. Those are 2 tracks, and you can even throw 5 flags in there on the 25th. Later in the schedule. That's about the 11th race of the year. Those are 3 racetracks that are very famous for testing drivers' cars and their patience. I don't think we're done with the point shakeups after we get done with Daytona.
You're absolutely right. But with that said, let's send it down trackside for Jaden Berkey and the singing of tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was
I want to welcome you back here to Daytona International Speedway and want to thank Jaden Berkey for that rendition of our national anthem. But with that being said, and the timing is about to expire on qualifying here tonight, and single truck, 2-lap qualifying, we can notice that the speeds obviously have jumped up, I should say, gotten a lot slower for these drivers. Gabe, you're talking about 4 or 5 seconds difference from when they're all by themselves to when they're grouped up in a pack. But when you look up and down that grid right there and how close these times were, you're talking hundredths of a second all the way down to the 23rd starting spot. That's pretty close.
Yeah, 25 cars in the 50.1 bracket down to the 50.103 with the pole sitter, Jordan Hightower. Andy, these guys, they are so, oh my, I cannot believe how close these times are.
You know, when you come to these racetracks and you qualify like that, it all comes down to flat out just being so smooth on that wheel, hitting your marks just right, the turn in, everything. So it's just amazing. It just shows you how close all these guys are at that. But with that said, let's send it down trackside. We're going to do the starting grid here tonight and looking at the pole here for the inaugural race at the Daytona 150. You got the 22 of Jordan Hightower on the pole with a 50.103. And starting to his outside, you may see him a lot during the peak antifreeze series, the number 55 of Brian Schoenberg.
Dustin Lingert in that 56 will start third, and Jason Anderson in that 92 starts fourth.
Row number 3 is going to consist of the 99 of Tommy Ryan to the inside, and David Krikorian starts sixth.
First car outside the top 5, second car outside the top 5 and 7th is Tyler Dalton. Alan Lewis in that 88 is going to start 8th.
The 9th on the grid tonight will be the 16 of Alan Cryer. David Ackney will start 10th.
Byron Daly, very familiar name here on the iRacing service, starts 11th in that 60 machine. Chad Coleman, another name, in that 12th position.
Leighton Sibley will start 13th. 14th goes to Michael Guest.
Justin Fuller in that Mikasuki 51 is going to start in the 15th position, and Trey Edson in that number 1 truck will start in 16th.
Row number 9 on the inside is going to be the 44 of Logan Clampett, while Alan Elwood will start 18th.
Joy Woods in that number 91 will start 19th, and Alex Monteferenti will start in the 20th position.
21st, 22nd on the grid is Louis Calderon and Richard Beasley.
Joshua Geyer, Stephen O'Rourke will complete your row with 23rd and 24th positions.
Row 13 in the 42 is Jason Galvin, and James Taylor starts 26th.
Mason Baker in that 18, and the 17, Robert Fitzpatrick, are your 27th and 28th position starters.
And starting 29th tonight in the 52, that's David Scoville, and Scott Mitten will start 30th. And as the rest of the starting grid rolls across the top of your screen, Gabe, it's that time. It's a lot of pressure's been amped up. This league's been getting talked about for months here, and now that the wait is over, everybody's here. We're all getting ready to get this thing set. And how much as a driver's aspect are the nerves going through some of these guys? I know they're all veterans, most of them die racing for a long time, but you got to say, when you're amped up like this for a season opener, the nerves still got to be there.
Well, you know what, Andy? I don't know about all the drivers. You know, they're all amped up, but one person, that 55, Brian Schoenberg, he has put so much work into this league, and it's getting ready to go green. He even brought back one of his old NASCAR racing 2003 paint schemes on that 55, so a lot riding on this league, and Brian, I think you're going to be very proud of what you see.
Absolutely, and as the pace car now looks to the safety of pit road, the 22, Jordan Hightower, will lead us to green here at Daytona, and there it is, the green flag in the air, and we're racing. That top side, though, quick start for Brian Schoenberg. Getting the push right now from the 92 with Jason Anderson as the top side now takes the advantage as they head to turn number 1.
55 gets clear. He's going to cut down in front of that 22 at Hightower, so that 55 did not take long. Schoenberg into the lead, 22 in second, and that's going to leave the 92 on that outside of Anderson. he's going to fall back to the 66 of Kriorkin, excuse me. That outside lane's coming back. The 66 is working with the 92.
Yeah, we're going to see this pretty much for the most part of the night. You're going to see two rows, all the way through this field. These trucks, just the draft package that they bring when they come to Daytona, this is the type of racing that it definitely leads to. You'll see that high side get a run there off of turn number 4. You'll see that all night long also. The problem is once they get to the straightaways, it really seems that they hit a brick wall, especially when they get down into the corners into turn 1 and 3. So for that guy, the top or the lead car on the outside lane, I should say, for them to get that lead, they really have to time it on the exit of the corner, Gabe. And like they're doing right here, you got to be up on that back bumper. You can see the run that they get down the back straightaway. The problem is, though, once again, like I said, as they enter into the corner, they're going to hit like a brick wall of air, and it's going to be close to see if they can get down in front. And you can see right there, just not enough. Schoenberg able to hold them off on that bottom side right now, so they continue side by side for the top spot and all the way through the field here at 4.
One thing we'll look for, though, will that 92, if he gets clear, he's got that 66 of Krikorian. He is a fast truck, especially up behind somebody pushing. Will the 92 wait to have a partner in that number 66 of Krikorian, or is he going to pull down and pull in front of Schoenberger to get the lead outright? That 66 wiggling back and forth across that bumper.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. And he had the opportunity right there going into turn 1. He's got the opportunity right now as they race down the back straightaway right there, topside to first 2 now, able to clear Schoenberg on that bottom side. The 66, Krikorian is going to be the first to dive down, and he jumps right in front, or right on the inside of Jason Anderson, and that's going to allow him to get that top spot off of turn number 4. A pretty good job by Krikorian right there on that bottom side.
That really wasn't a sudden move from that 66. He let the 92 know he was pulling down. He kind of gradually drove down to the inside in front of Schoenberger and let the 92 know, I'm coming down. But he just, cut right there, and Schoenberg, excuse me. But that 92, he's working his way across the outside. He's pulling that 88, and all these guys, he's trying to pull them.
He's doing a great job. You can see that top side definitely has an advantage coming off of the corners and down the straightaway. And you can see another move right there from Alan Lewis in the 88. He's going to also make that move to the inside of Jason Anderson. And for some reason, that 92, he just either loves that outside that much right now currently with the way they're running and how early we are in the run. But he just doesn't want to give it up, it seems, because you can see every time off of the corners, off turn number 4 and off turn number 2, that top side definitely gets the advantage. You'll put Jason Anderson right there as we go on board with the 88 truck of Alan Lewis right now as he runs in that second spot, but he's first in line on that bottom side, and you can see the whole field all the way back, all strung out right now, but they're all side by side, 2 by 2, all the way through the field. You got cars every now and then jumping down, jumping up, trying to pick that quickest lane and which one's going to give them the advantage to the front, but right now it looks like it just pays really to be the top side. That first car leading right now, and Jason Anderson continuing to do that.
I kind of feel for that 55 of Schoenberg. He is just sitting there. You're taught just to hold that inside lane, and nobody can really pass you unless they get a monster run. And two guys pull down, and a lot more guys have had the opportunity to pull down, and they're just simply driving around that outside lane. These guys have got that car working.
Yeah, it definitely has, and it's been over the last build or maybe 2 builds. Can't remember now. They all kind of wash in together, but it's all over those builds that iRacing comes out with. They change different things like the draft packages for the super speedway races, and I definitely have to say that over the last couple, they definitely hit some good spots here as far as the racing goes, and I'm talking all throughout the series, in the Cup, the Xfinity cars, and of course here in the trucks. And it just, I think, before, like you said, you really could hug that bottom side and just stay on that yellow line. It made it so tough for anybody to get around you, and really the only chance they had would be to take an opportunity to make them, if you made a mistake and you hit the apron or pushed up in the corner, for them to get down to the inside. But that was really your only shot to take over the lead at a plate track like Talladega or Daytona. So to see what they've done over the last couple seasons or so as far as the draft packages at the super speedways, they've made it a lot racier.
Now, Andy, like you said, over this last build, we've seen guys as the 30 ducks to the inside. He's going for the lead yet again. The 92 does not duck down that 30. David and Keeney, excuse me, he's going to duck to the inside and go for the lead. He's going to pull in front of that 88, Alan Lewis. But, this build, Andy, we've seen guys be able to use that outside lane, not just, the middle lane where that outside lane's running, but right up there next to the wall, we've seen guys pull out and be able to make that work. Will we see that tonight?
Well, it's definitely a possibility. Obviously, early on here, working lap number 8 of 80, so we got a lot of laps still left to go here. But obviously, as we get closer to the finish, I really think that we could see a third lane really start to take into effect here. The problem with that, though, is at Daytona, it is wide enough for those 3 lanes, but to have 3 lanes here, it's very tricky. You got to have some you have to have some extreme confidence in the drivers around you if you want to try to make that third lane work.
That 30's gotten clear of the 92, and that 92, he's been it never ceases to amaze me. He's able to pull that outside lane basically by himself because he's worked that outside lane so well these first almost 10 laps. That's going to be somebody to look forward to near the end because a lot of these guys are going to want to stick to that inside lane and inside the final 5 or 10 laps. That 92 is just going to be chugging along the outside.
And I'm sure a lot of these guys are actually taking note to this. Guys like Schoenberg in the 55, because you look at him now, he was leading the pack on that bottom side, and now since that top side's really gained the advantage, as we got a little 3-wide action, now trouble in the corner in turn number 3. It looks like the 23 truck maybe have gotten up into the wall, and 3 other guys involved in that one also, but we'll try to get a number on it. The 25 truck there. Looks like he got pushed up to the outside, made it 3-wide, got in the wall. A couple other trucks got in behind him. Hopefully we can pull a replay up for you for that, but we see a little more 3-wide action now as the 1 truck with Trey Edson gets pushed up to the outside. Not sure if that's what he wanted to. We saw a couple guys really talking about these trucks getting real hot behind the 92 of Jason Anderson there on the high side, and that is one thing that these guys are going to have to watch out for, especially if they get really pushed right up onto that bumper and really give these guys a push. It probably lasts about a lap, maybe 2 laps. Then that truck gets real hot. It's one thing you don't want to do is have the engine blow up here early on.
Andy, I got something on that wreck we just had, the 25 slapping the wall and collecting a couple other guys. It looked like he was trying to work that outside lane. He just got clear and decided to move the outside of the 3 truck, and he just got really put in the wall and he drifted up. That's the 25 of Leighton Sabile. Very unfortunate. It ends up stacking up. Looks like the 60 and the 51.
Yeah, we got more trouble around the 42 truck there. Jason Gallman back there in turn number 3. Some more action for those guys right there, and it looked like just a lot of 3-wide action right there. Top side actually checked up just a bit. Looks like 1 truck got into the wall. Looks like the 19 truck got in the wall, caused everybody to really clamor up there. But, man, what a great job by all these drivers. They started scattering. Some guys making contact there. We see some damage on trucks like the 74 has some damage now to that left rear and the left side. So a lot of these guys are already taking some hits here early on.
Yeah, 99 and Tommy Ryan, but one of the guys involved. Andy, we've gone from a 30-car pack to about an 8 or 9-car pack up here at the front.
Yeah, it was a huge one as the battle for the lead really heats up. You got the 5 of Alan Elwood now to the inside, and you got the 20, Chad Coleman, a guy we talk about a lot in the RSR camp for Full Throttle Cup, and also over the winter months here in the Icebreaker series right here on LSRTV. And Chad Coleman, one of those guys trying to make a name for himself, getting up here racing with these guys right now, and he takes over that race lead on the outside. He's got the help of the 97 and Alex Monteferrante. So Monteferrante now going to look to the inside. That's going to leave Jason Anderson now back up on that top side right behind Chad Coleman. As like you said, we had a huge pack 2x2 all the way through, and now with those couple little incidents right there, it's definitely jammed things up quite a bit here. So we've got 9 trucks now with a separation of about 1 second back to 10th.
Andy, one thing I'm looking at, we saw the guys, there were about 2 more trucks, the 5 and the 88 there on the bottom side of the racetrack. They were the only 2 left there on the outside. Everybody else moved to the outside. that 97 of Monteferrante was behind the 20 of Coleman and then just pulled to the inside like we've seen so many guys do on the 92. Andy, that could be something we see during the race. Guys try and run that outside lane, just kind of chilling there, and then somebody breaks out, goes for the lead, and then all heck breaks loose.
Absolutely. Things starting to continue that. I'll tell you what, that 97 doing a great job. He's obviously got a lot of help from that 5, Alan Elwood, there on that inside, but those two really hooking up nice right now and able to keep that lead right now. We haven't seen that top side now. Coleman not be able to take advantage of the speed that the top side does have, because that top side pretty much runs in that Q line that they call it here as far as a qualifying line for these guys. So it is really probably the fastest way around the track with somebody pushing you. Obviously it's the fastest part of the track by yourself, but when you got another truck helping you, just the way you enter the corner, you don't have to really tug on that wheel as much as being on the bottom, so you don't scrub as much speed off of the truck. And that top side, that's why it works so well. And I think you'll see the second pack starting in that 10th spot with the 42. Well, actually, it just got changed up a little bit here. The 56 of Dustin Lingert actually just made a great run right there with a whole line of trucks here, moving his way back up to the towards the front. But you see these guys in their single file lines right here, trying to work together in that draft, trying to catch that lead pack again. It won't be too long, and we will see these guys do it as they're battling right now. 3 wide, almost 4 wide now. Logan Clampett splitting them up the middle with the 36.
Clamp Nation coming up the middle in that peak 44. He's going to split them, get a lot of positions. Andy, talk about single file. I do not think these guys have any interest in doing that, because look at this. This is the pack we had left, basically, after that little wreck we had, the little spins we had there in turn 2. These guys, they're racing just as hard as they did before, and we're not seeing 2 definite lines as the 16 goes 3 wide there on the inside. He's going to get shoved down to the apron, very close, but he's going to keep it up there. The 42 shoved him down there with the 10 on the outside, but all these guys running their own lines, like the old NASCAR Daytona and Talladega, really, not the whole definite lines.
Yeah, really pushing the issue. I think the 16, Alan Cryer, was really pushing the issue. He was on the yellow line. Looks like he's going to let him go, so somebody, race control must have said something being down on the yellow line. They did. Race control did make a comment to him. He wasn't quite below it, but he was on it, so they deemed that him advancing his position below that yellow line. So in turn, he had to give that position up. Otherwise, they would have given him a black flag. So he gave up that position plus some as he dropped to the apron and let these go by. And Chad Coleman, though, as we take a peek back up front, still getting the job done on that outside lane. Right now, leading that outside lane. He led that last by, but you can see that second group of cars really starting to make their way up towards us, as they got 6 of them right now in a single file line. It's led by the 56 of Justin Langert.
Yeah, Jason Anderson, we've seen him up front lead the charge, and we haven't really seen him push all that much, really, but he seems to be a very solid pusher. He's pushed the 20 of Chad Coleman. Doesn't exactly have the car to really contend there on the outside. The 92 is the best car we've seen so far, but he's pushing that 20 of Chad Coleman. He was about 3 car lengths back of the 97 as 20 almost gets clear, but he's going to pull down and wait for that 92, hopefully, but I don't think that 92 has any interest in going to the bottom.
No, he hasn't. Jason Anderson's been quite content running that outside lane right there, and it looks like Chad Coleman actually maybe have learned something by watching him in the opening 10 laps or so, as Anderson continued to lead that outside lane, and now Chad Coleman is doing that there as a change for the lead again, as Monteferrante gets scored with that lap lead there. But we're going to take a moment. We're going to step aside right now and let the bill paying begin. Let's call it that right there. And as we do that, we'll just remind you, you're watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Welcome back, everybody, to Daytona International Speedway for the SegPay ASCORS Truck Series Daytona 150 right here.
Big wreck on the backstretch.
Say green, but it looks like the 17 of Robert Fitzpatrick was involved in that, and he's still slow down on the back there. And Gabe, that was a pretty interesting wreck there. We're still green.
Yeah, it looks like the 17 was up against the wall trying to stay out of the way of the leaders, and the 51, he was already high coming off the corner, and when he exited, he had a full view of the back deck lid of that 17 and just slammed right in the back of him and spun a couple other guys out.
Yeah, so our first little accident, I'm just surprised we didn't get a caution there, but obviously the wreck happening very low where the guys were spinning was way off of the racing service. So sometimes this, the server for iRacing, it's really odd because sometimes you won't get a caution with a multi-car wreck like that, but you'll get one for a single truck spin down the front straightaway or something. So it's just pretty interesting how that works, but not sure exactly the frame of mind that it works that way sometimes, but it is what it is. But we stay green flag racing. We have been since the beginning of this one, working lap number 24, and just wanted to remind everybody and thank everybody who's tuning in tonight on LSRTV and iRacing Live. Pretty cool feature that iRacing has put up and allowed all the leagues to showcase their stuff on iRacing Live, and we'd like to thank them for allowing us to put these leagues on here, and ASCORS, of course, in their inaugural truck season here in the opening race. And we saw that up until that wreck with the 17 there, we saw that second pack really coming, Gabe. They got single file, got in the line, and really used that queue line, that draft, to their advantage, and they were gaining about a half a second per lap. But since that, they've all fallen back off about 5 seconds off of the race lead now. So they got their work cut out for them to get back up to that lead pack. But the lead pack right now still 11 trucks strong. The second pack about the same right now. And they're trying to form up a little bit. You get some guys going too wide right there. The too wide action is actually what slows them up. And that's why they were able to catch up to that lead pack right now, as we got some more shifting for the lead as Coleman had the lead. Now the 97 of Monteferrante, he goes up to the top side, cuts right in front of Jason Anderson. Anderson able to give him the push into turn number 3. He's got a slow truck there on the apron. Hopefully, whoa! Oh, trouble right there. The 32 truck, and we're still green. I'm surprised caution has not come out yet, as we got trucks all over the place. Oh my God, Chad Coleman just could not go anywhere. More trouble. Caution is finally out.
32, a Geyer just comes off the apron, tries to pull back down, and just gets absolutely destroyed by the lead pack, the 20 of Chad Coleman and the 88. Oh, Alan Lewis, he just nowhere to go for these guys. Schoenberg in it with the 55. Oh my gosh, Andy.
That was just absolutely wild right there. With you had some guys trying to, replay goes up on your screen. You just had some guys really trying to limp their way back to pit road, it seemed, but I'm not sure what happened with the 32 there. Just it was like he was up on the racetrack and then just turned down, but I don't know, it took him a little while to figure out they were coming, but the front lead pack just got into it right there.
Andy, I want to talk about one person. We always talk about Daytona, Talladega plate racing. It's a game of chance. That 97 of Alex Monteferrante, not 10 seconds before this wreck, he pulled from the inside lane behind the 20 of Chad Coleman and pulled to the outside lane. That just saved his race.
Yeah, that's definitely going to take things up here, obviously, in the running order because of the trucks that were involved. And, yeah, it looks like they're race controls, trying to get everything figured out right now. But you're talking that a lot of the guys, that were in the front lead pack that with the opportunity to win this thing, obviously having major damage right now and having to come down pit road. But pit road will be open for our leaders. Nobody's been out there at the moment, or nobody's been down pit road now. They come off of turn number 4. Pit road will be open for the leaders. I would imagine we would see all these guys coming down pit road take advantage of it, get the fuel that they need to probably go the rest of the distance of this race if it goes green, get some tires on that thing. And that's got to be the mindset of most of these guys. Take the opportunity for a free pit stop here under caution.
Yeah, and really, we could see some guys playing some strategy here on the exit of pit road. Watch for these guys. After they exit their pit stall, they realize where they're going to come out. They'll stop, or at least slow down and let other guys by so they can get to the outside or inside lane with their buddies. Watch for that on the end of pit road.
Yeah, we always see some crazy things happen with when it comes to pit strategy on pit road, and whether it's coming in or whether it's leaving the pit road. But yeah, sometimes obviously they'll try to figure out where their teammates are around also, and and if they can put a car in between themselves and their teammates, then obviously that helps them, and they'll start off in the same row. So most of these guys obviously knowing the tricks. They've been around it long enough, and they know exactly how to get it done. But we're going to let this thing cycle through and pick up. We'll step aside again for a short, quick break here as we work lap number 28 here in the SegPay ASCORS Truck Series. And you're watching it right here live on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Welcome back here to Daytona International Speedway, the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series going on right now, live Daytona. The Daytona 150 here. We're working lap number 29, approaching that halfway point. We're working 80 laps here this evening. We're about 11 away as they come across the start-finish line this time by. Still under caution here for our first caution of the night. Probably should have been about the third one with all the action that we've seen on the racetrack. Not sure exactly why caution wasn't even thrown for that last one there. The race control had to waive it themselves. So pretty interesting what's going on with the server here. Not sure if anyone forgot to check the box maybe when they got the room ready. But other than that, everything is cycled up through here. Looks like we're going to get everybody double filed here as the lights go out on the pace car. We'll get set to get the green flag on lap number 31, which will give us 50 laps left to go here in the season opener of this series, a newly formed series, kind of backed a little history back in the 2003 NASCAR days. Most of these guys raced with each other then, and they decided to get the league back going again. So here they are on iRacing, a total different service here, and now they're getting this, trying to get this series back underway. Jason Anderson going to be your leader when they come back to the green flag. He's been one of those trucks, Gabe, that's been up front all night long. He was able to avoid that mess that happened right there off of turn number 4 for our first caution. And look, he's on the bottom side, though, looking to maybe try something different or maybe get back up to the top.
I was about to say, we're witnessing a rare moment that 92, the discount tire truck, on the bottom side of the racetrack. Take pictures while you can. Another person to look at, 36 at Bentley Glazer. We haven't talked about him all night, and he's up here in 4th, so hats off to him, and hopefully he can stay up here.
There's a couple guys like him and J.D. Laird start at 35th, now up to 6th here on this restart. We'll keep an eye on that 23 truck and the 36 as the pace car now off of turn number 4 looks back down to the safety of pit road. And Jason Anderson will lead us back to the green flag. Green flag in the air. We're racing again at Daytona, lap number 31 on the docket right now. 50 more to go, and that bottom side with the 92 getting some pretty good help right there from Dustin Lingert. And that 56 truck, they're going to now pull themselves out. We'll see if that 92 jumps up to the high side off turn 2.
He's staying down there right now on the bottom, but something we saw different from the initial start. There's about 3 or 4 cars there on the outside lane that are just not hooked up. The first 4 cars there, and they're just, kind of lingering. They're not really together except for the 5 and the 36, and that really killed that outside lane. But that 92, he's got no help up there, so we should see that him stick to the bottom. Jason Anderson stick to the bottom here for the time being.
Yeah, I think if that top side really gets a run, we might see him jump up to the top side like he did right there.
There he
Look at
goes.
that. He's got about 3 truck lengths in between him and the next truck, but he decided to go up there. He wants that top side. He wants to race up there. He's been doing it all night long. Now he does it. Now the 5 truck going to look to the outside and leave him in the Earnhardt sucker hole there in the middle there. That's not going to be exactly what Jason Anderson really wanted to happen right there. Looks like the 5 truck's going to stall out now. They're going to side draft here and work their way off of turn number 2. A lot of moving and shaking going on. The 56 now to that top, or excuse me, the 66 up to the top side. That's Krikorian in that Oreo Chevrolet is looking at the 97 now, making a move to the outside. He wants to take that lead away from Lingert.
Oh, almost contact there, the 38 and the 7, or the 97. These guys, 97 ducks down the bottom in front of the 92, and between the 38. Close quarters racing here up here. It's amazing how that worked out. It looked like the 5 was going to put the 92 in the sucker hole, Andy, and then the 92 of Anderson, he just decided to side draft and stall out that whole line, and it shook up the whole field.
Yeah, it definitely did. Not sure if they actually had to let off the throttle there as Anderson kind of moved up towards that outside right there. You see a couple cars up on the high side in that 3rd lane, but it looks like the 66 actually trying to work his way towards the back of the field. Krikorian just not liking the way it's going up there. He's going to stay on that top side and push his way back to the bottom. Justin Weaver, though, took over the race lead there on the back straightaway. Not credited with a lap yet here as they work off of turn number 4 to 97. Monteferrante, we've seen him up front. You talk about guys who started towards the back. He started mid-pack in that 20th spot up to the 4th. He's been leading some laps here. Now he's got Jason Anderson now on his back deck lid as they race into turn number 1. A slight advantage for that top side.
That advantage is that 92. Such a good pusher down the outside, and they're the 5 of Elwood, too. He's a great pusher. Look back here, the 72, Luis Calderon. Haven't talked about him all night, and he's up here fighting. He started in the 21st position. Only a couple cars, Andy, up here in the top 10 that started there.
Yeah, 2 to be exact. When you talk about the 56 started 3rd, he's running 2nd right now. And then, of course, Jason Anderson, who's been up front all night long, currently in that 4th position, started 4th here tonight at Daytona. And still side-by-side action for that top spot. There are about 10, 11 trucks now in that top lead pack right now. Probably about half a second, 6/10 maybe back to that second pack that's led by the 99 of Tommy Ryan. Tommy Ryan was one of those that started in the top 5. He started 5th, currently running in that 12th spot. So he avoided that first bit of carnage we had in the early laps here. So lap number 35, working that right now as we come to turn number 3. Second pack starting to close in just a bit, but not as fast as they did in that first go-around.
Andy, looking back up front, look at that 92. He's telling everybody behind him, I want to go 3 wide. I want to get around this guy, the 97 of Monteferrante. Look at him. He's ducking. He's weaving back and forth. There he goes again through the tri-oval. He wants to get around that 97 and get back to leading this front draft.
I'm sure he does. He's probably his best bet to do that, to lead that top side, is to actually push Monteferrante to the lead, and hopefully Alex runs down to that bottom side. That's the only chance I think he's got right now. Other than that, he's going to have to duck out every now and then, catch some clean, fresh air as we go on board of the 97 right here, as you see him lead that top side into turn number 3. You got to duck out. You got to get some air to the noses of these trucks. That's one thing you don't want to have happen, is blow an engine right there in the middle of the pack. That could definitely cause some trouble, especially for the guys behind you, because they'll catch to you quick when you're out of power.
Oh yeah, not even blowing the engine, just overheating it and letting it lose horsepower. That's going to just absolutely kill your race. You need every horse possible, and even 1 or 2, you know, just from the fact of running hot for just a few minutes, yeah, that'll kill your race. And Andy, you were talking about the guys back in the pack. They're catching them, but they started racing side by side again as we're 3 wide down the back straightaway. 56, so he goes to the apron. Looks like somebody told him he had connection issues. He was blinking a couple times, and now he drops it back in his pack.
Yep, race control on top of that, which is good to see. Sometimes we've seen that in other races that we've covered, where they'll just kind of let that guy blink and blink and blink. But good job by race control right there to have him drop to the back of this pack here. So it doesn't affect the racing and what goes on up here towards the front, because another wreck like we had in the front of the pack, like we did on that first caution, and we could have a whole bunch of cars, another set of cars, or trucks, I should say, that will be out of this race here early on.
Looking at the second pack right now, 12th on back. These guys are coming with 30. David and Keeney, excuse me, man, I just cannot get that name for the life of me. I will get it by the end of this race.
We got
30.
12 races to get it done.
Oh yeah, we can get it done. And these guys, they got about 40 laps to get it done, Andy, and they're coming. The 60 of Byron Daly, Doy Woods, they're all drafting and they're catching that pack.
Yeah, that they are. This is about the only opportunity they got, is to run that queue line, run single file. As soon as they start splitting up, maybe racing side by side, that's where they're going to have the that's where they're going to actually lose time to this front pack. But they're definitely catching up to them. It was over 2 seconds just about a lap and a half ago, down to 1.4 seconds now as they race off turn number 2. Well, that's 1.4 off of the race lead, just about a second to the end of the back of the pack there. Looks like we had some smoke on the back straightaway there, maybe a couple issues for some trucks, or I could be seeing things, but we stay green right now currently, and up front, that 97 getting the job done. He dropped down to the bottom. That gave Jason Anderson that top side all to himself, like he's liked it all so far, and Alan Elwood in that 5 truck giving him a good push. That's one name we've talked about a little bit here. Started 18th up to that 5th spot already, so a good job by him making his way through the pack early on.
Yeah, here's the starting positions for your top 10, Andy. 4th, Jason Anderson, stayed up front all day. 20th, 18th, 31st, 21st, 36th, 24th, 25th, 15th, and 33rd, Andy. These guys are getting it done, either under green or under caution. And look at here, that 30, the 60, and the 91 have caught this backpack. They've caught the 56 of Dustin Lingert. They've caught them, Andy.
They have. That is going to add us 3 more trucks to the mix of this front lead pack. Give us about 14 of them once they get back up to their rear bumpers right now. But right now it's halfway. Lap number 40 goes in the books. 40 more to go. With that, we'll take a look now at our midway race break. Across our halfway point, and we want to thank iRacing.com, obviously the leader in motorsport simulation, the official sim partner of NASCAR, and currently, as they run Alex Monteferrante, he's shown as your leader. Jason Anderson running that 2nd spot. 3rd is Justin Weaver. Alan Elwood is 4th. 5th is to James Shipman. Lewis Calderon is up to 6th. 7th is Richard Beasley. Steven O'Rourke is 8th. 9th is Bentley Glazer, and Justin Fuller runs 10th.
And look for this leaderboard to change. 11th is going to go to the 56 of Dustin Lingert, drop back to the pack after connection issues. 30 of David and Keeney is going to be in the 12th position. Byron Daly in that 60 and 13th. Doy Woods in the 91 and 13th, or 14th, excuse me. J.D. Laird in the 23 and 15th. 16th is held currently by James Taylor. Rich Jett in that number 7 in the 17th position. Tommy Ryan, Davey Scoville in that 19th or 18th and 19th position. and 20th right now is David Krikorian.
Leighton Sybil is in that 21st spot. 22nd is Alan Cryer. Jason Galvin is 23rd. 24th is Mason Baker. Scott Mitten runs 25th. 26th is the 62 of John Wickel. Logan Clampett just went one lap down in 27th. 28th, also a lap down, is Tyler Dalton. And it looks like 30th place currently is the 20 of Chad Coleman.
Big shakeup there. We're 3 wide, 77, the 11. They're racing very hard. Got the 5 on the outside. Looked like that 10 of Richard Beasley dropped down to the apron. Either he got shoved down there or he did it against his, or did it at his own will, but they're 3 wide. They're back in the pack. Andy, just past halfway, these guys are getting antsy.
That they are, and that has been your iRacing Midway race break. For more information on the wide variety of racing possibilities on the web, visit iRacing.com and sign up today. And you said that with that 10 truck. Not sure if he really got forced down there, or he could you tend to get loose too, obviously, as the run goes on here through that tri-oval. So even just a slight touch of the apron through the tri-oval can cause you to lose control of your truck. So I'm not sure exactly what happened to that 10 truck, but obviously went down to the apron, slowed up, put him back now further into the pack. And looks like racing for the lead, though, the 97. Looks like the 72 now going to drop out of that middle lane there. Probably getting a little too high. Had to get some air to that nose of that truck. He's going to go up to the top side now and do that. That's Lewis Calderon, who made his way all the way up to that 3rd or 4th spot there, all the way from 21st. He's going to drop back now to that last truck on that top side, 5th in line right now as they run. Top side, though, battling back. Jason Anderson trying to lead that lap right there. He does. Barely, but over Alex Monteferrante. He's got the advantage back into turn 1.
Yeah, according to timing and scoring, they crossed the line at the exact same time, but I guess the 92 is a lower number than the 97, so he leads that lap.
They only show us up to the 1,000, so you have to go back to the 10,000th of a second to get that mark right there. Top side, though, as Anderson moved down to the bottom, and the 5 truck, Alan Elwood, now leads that top side. He's got some help right there from the 51. Justin Fuller, another name we haven't talked much about. He had a good starting spot in that 15th spot, but as these guys battle it out right now, that second pack really starting to close in now. Making it a bigger race now as you get those guys back in 15th, 16th, 17th, and on back now start to make their way up to this front pack. It took them a little bit, but now they have now finally caught back up to this front lead pack. We'll see what they can do now as they can weave their way through this traffic as they run right now at 46. Going up on the board, the battle back into turn number 3 for the lead. The top side, that 5 of Elwood, just stalls right out right there. He's got the 51 of Justin Fuller in his rear bumper. But look at Jason Anderson. I'll tell you, probably one of the strongest trucks we've seen all night long. He's pretty much been able to put that thing wherever he wants it to lead whichever lap he wants to lead with Jason Anderson in that 92 doing a great job. He jumbles up that top side, though, and the 5 truck now has to look to the outside. He's going to get stuck out there. 51 now, Justin Fuller to his inside. Still 3 wide as the 5 tries to get back in line.
Looks like the 97 of Monteferrante, he got shoved down there with the 92, and the 92 came through the trial, but just kind of pinched him, and he just got on the apron, and it got him loose. Everybody checked up, and unfortunately, the 5 truck at Elwood, he was the person who got caught there on the outside sucker hole. But one thing I was going to say before that happened, Andy, that 92, he kind of reminds me of Dale Jr. You know, he gets out in front, and then he kind of moves to whatever line's out front or whatever line has the run, because that 97, he had a good run. 92 pulled down. There comes the 51 and the 5. He pulls back up right up, and he's got the truck to do it.
Yeah, he's definitely been very confident in the way that truck handles and his ability to obviously change lanes like that abruptly in front of these guys at any point on the racetrack, whether it's going through the corners or off the straightaway. So that 92 is definitely going to be one to watch here as this race goes on. Monteferrante, though, putting on a pretty good clinic right now with Justin Weaver on his back bumper. The 11 truck also on the inside, James Shipman, started 36, another one of those guys that's worked his way up, didn't even qualify, took a provisional, starting that 36 spot up to 5th now as they run 3rd in line on that bottom side. Top side, though, pretty good momentum. We've seen it all race long now off the corner. It looks like that 92 of Jason Anderson going to get that lead once again. So far, definitely the class of the field, the most laps led here tonight is that 92 truck.
51, Justin Fuller, is he going to... Does he have the truck, really? Because that 92, he's been shown to pull down to the bottom of the racetrack. Will that 51 be able to pull the 30 and the 3 and the 36? Will he be able to pull them along? But, Andy, look how closely that inside lane is running. The 97, the 38, the 11, and the 10. They are nose to tail there, and that's what's really able to push them there on the bottom.
Yeah, that bottom side definitely... it's going to be interesting to see. It all bases, obviously, on how these trucks are able to get on the back bumper of that lead truck on that outside line, if that outside line will prevail by the time this thing is said and done. Looks like the 11 truck having a little scare there through the trial, also getting on the apron, getting a little loose. James Shipman able to corral it, get back up in the line, not really losing any speed there, but having a couple of those guys behind over the radio come up and say, whoa. So as that second pack has now caught everybody, you got a pretty good pack growing right there, about 22, 25 trucks now in this front lead pack right there. Is Jason Anderson just showing the way on the outside. Look at the 51, though. He's had enough of following him. He goes to the inside trying to get some laps led himself.
Sounds pretty good to say this. Move that 51 Mikasuki. Well, I would say Toyota, but it's a Chevy Silverado, isn't it? Move that. Oh, it is a Toyota. Okay, from the front, but that 51 Mikasuki Toyota goes to the lead for a second, but then there goes that 92 right back to the front.
Yeah, Jason Anderson he's just been able to move to whichever lane he really wants to, and he's doing a great job with that. Look at the 30 truck though. He was in that second group not too long ago, David Ankeny, and he's all the way up to that second spot now. So he's definitely been one of those guys that's been able to weave his way through traffic.
Oh,
really
31
the lane.
in the
Now
wall.
the 3 truck. It's loose in the corner there, maybe with the help of a bump there. Now he's up in the wall. That's Stephen O'Rourke now, just trying to let the field go by him there. Hopefully keep this thing under green, but that's big problems for the 3 truck.
Everybody does a really good job of getting by that 3 of Stephen O'Rourke. Yeah, it looks like he just pushed up the racetrack into that outside wall. It's very easy to do here at Daytona. You know, that banking just kind of pulls you up into the outside. It's just a weird thing, really. You know, you run just on the edge of it, and he pushed up there on the marbles and just went up the racetrack. That 97 goes back to the lead, and the 51, he pulls back up the racetrack.
51 of Fuller doing a great job getting up in front of Jason Anderson right there in that top side. And it's pretty much been the 92, 97 leading this show here tonight. And one on the bottom, one likes the bottom, that's Monteferrante. And then, of course, Anderson loves that top side. But those 2 trucks have been in the top 4 all night long, most of the time, 1 and 2. And those are going to be 2 guys to watch. They definitely know how to get their way around the plate tracks. And we work lap number 53. We're going to take another step aside, but we're past the halfway point, so we're going to go LSRTV nonstop. You're watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
The partnership with iRacing.com originated with Grand Am Road Racing back in 2010 is involved to where it is today. The partnership with IMSA. We launched the iRacing.com online sports car championship, which made sense on a number of levels for IMSA. Many of our fans, in fact many of our competitors in this series, are avid iRacing sim racers, so the partnership was natural in that regard. The iRacing community clearly has an interest in motorsports, and this partnership allows us to showcase the uniqueness of our racing series and the strategy behind endurance racing. This is certainly one of the main goals of our partnership. Our partnership with IMSA is perfect. It makes sense on many levels. IMSA is all about sports car racing, endurance racing, and that's something that iRacing has to offer. Events that are exactly like you'll find in IMSA. The Daytona 24, the Sebring 12-hour, Watkins Glen 6 hours, and the Team Le Mans event, Hollywood Atlanta. You can choose from the Corvette Daytona prototype or any number of the GT cars that we have to offer. The combination of those cars makes for great mixed class racing with the variable speeds. The Corvette DP that's in iRacing is an exact model of the Whelen Corvette that races in the IMSA series. Eric Kern was very helpful in getting this data and all the bits and pieces that we needed to complete the project. All the tracks on iRacing are laser scanned, so they're exact replicas of what the real-world drivers get to experience in the IMSA series. You can race on nearly every track that IMSA drivers race on. Every bump, every crack, every curve is exactly the same as what the real-world drivers experience.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway, the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series going on right now. 80 laps is the scheduled distance here tonight. We're working lap number 58 as we're watching this live right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. And some pretty interesting things happened while we were on the nonstop right there as we see the 38 into the wall and the 92 of Anderson, it looks like. Anderson having trouble. He's up in the wall. That's one thing we didn't expect right there down the back straightaway.
Nope, and that takes your most competitive car out of this race.
That it does. We still have the 97 Monteferrante, who's been pretty stout here all night long also, as the battle for the lead is really heating up. Bunch of guys up front here that we haven't talked much about all night long. Justin Fuller, we talked about just over the last 10 laps or so, working his way up to the front of the pack. He led that lap right there. Top side, though, being shown the way by Doy Woods in that 91. That's one name. Started 19th up to that second spot here. This top group right now of 11 trucks really showing the way right now. Making some great racing action and a lot of action as far as trying to get around some of these lap trucks we saw while we were on the commercial break there. Kind of got things a little squirrely there through the corners, but cooler heads prevail. We stay green flag racing, and a lot of three-wide action, a lot of trucks that were contenders up in this group having some damage, getting pushed out of line, getting down to the apron, and totally losing this draft.
60 of Byron Daly, he worked his way up to the second position on the outside and then dropped to the back of the pack. I guess he just didn't feel comfortable, but that's going to move that 99 of Tommy Ryan to the outside. That's going to put him in the second position right behind that 91 of Doy Woods. That 99, he was involved in our first quote-unquote caution, really, because it should have been where the guys just kind of wrecked coming off turn 2. He got doored, and that's how some of those guys were able to save it, and he's been able to recover.
Yeah, he has, and a couple guys, 38 truck having damage. We got a lap truck, the 16 now. We're going to work their way around that on the top side there. There he is, and this front group here, pit stops are going to be happening here probably in the next 10 laps or so is what I heard over race control, and telling the drivers to make sure they let everybody know behind them. We don't need any issues getting on a pit road. We know getting on a pit road, green flag stops. Doesn't matter what car you're in here, Gabe. At this type of racetrack, it's tough when you're running almost 200 miles an hour around this place for 30, 40 laps. We go on board the 99, giving the push to the 91 of Doy Woods on that top side. 2 trucks trying to get it done only on the top side. But we know that getting on pit road under green flag stops at this place can be really tricky.
Yeah, if you want to get on pit road, you're going to have to be in communication with everybody behind you. Pull all the team members or team drivers or anybody. Say this is when we're pitting, or at least say it over the high racing server. This is when we're pitting. Just don't run us over, and that can cause a lot of problems if guys don't know. They'll be trying to push somebody, and they'll think, oh, they're just coming to the apron. And they'll come back up, and guys end up just getting run over.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. As soon as you let off the throttle and that truck behind you isn't ready for it, they're going to end up pushing you around in a big mess. So we'll keep an eye on that as we get closer to those green flag pit stops. Top side, though, those two guys right there, the 99 of Tommy Ryan and, of course, Doy Woods in the 91, doing a great job all by themselves, the two of them, able to get the 91, the race lead right there. And that's going to, we got lap traffic more coming here, so they're going to go 3 wide off of turn number 4 right there. That's going to make it pretty interesting, too, as this thing gets down closer to the end, is who's your friend? Who's going to help you? Who's going to stick with you? And, wow, that 51 getting loose there on the apron, touching the apron. I mean, I talked about it, especially as the tires wear out, just a little touch of that apron, that really takes it out of the truck, and it totally throws the balance right off of that thing. But, man, what a great job right there hanging on to it.
I've seen simple slides, guys, just getting loose. I have never seen anybody like that 51 of Justin Fuller, loose like that, Andy, and, save it. He made about 3 or 4 corrections there on the front straightaway exiting the tri-oval. That was an amazing piece of driving.
Yeah, and all that, didn't lose any ground to the lead pack there. Amazing. He didn't let off the throttle on that one, just hung on to his. Tommy Ryan now going to end up leading that lap right there as he drops to the bottom on the Ferrante. And the 5 of Elwood now going to be the only 2 on the top side. They continue that run they had with Tommy Ryan. That's going to push that 97 to the race lead. Now the question is, does he drop down in front and leave the 5 out to dry, or does he stick around and let them come with him as they go 3 wide again for more lap traffic on that top side? And it looks like he's going to stick with them currently right now. There's about a quarter panel left before he gets in front of that 99. They head back into turn number 3, and the 97 drops to the bottom. 5 had nowhere to go. The 51, though, up on that top side, to at least give him some help there. It looks like 36 of Bentley Glazer is also up there right now, so that top side is still going to have somewhat of an advantage. Here comes a 5. Elwood now looking for the lead. Not going to happen this lap. Stalls out right before the start-finish line. Gets a little bit of momentum. He'll take the slight advantage heading into 1.
The 2 guys up front getting pushed by NASCAR trucks. Kyle Busch on the outside, Eric Darnell on the inside. This is great, Andy.
It absolutely is, and this next time by, we're only going to have 15 laps left to go here, so it's going to be interesting to see, obviously, when these guys decide to make that pit stop, how many guys come with them as the top 2 now get cleared. That was a bold move right there by the 5 and the 51. Fuller and Elwood getting the job done, getting to that race lead right now. So the top guys right now, all single file. I think this is the first time we've seen it all night long. Fuller says, I don't want nothing to do with it. Him and Monteferrante, they'll team up. They're going to get by Elwood on that top side. Elwood didn't even lead that lap that time, so that's amazing. He gets the lead, but doesn't get credit for a lap led. 14 to go now.
97 and 51 get clear, leaving the 99 out there. Can he pull down? Yes, he's got the gap in front of the 91, so that 99 Tommy Ryan pulls down and gets to the inside lane. Now everybody, I think they're getting ready to make their pit stops as the 97 goes almost to the apron to get around the 51 of Fuller. So move that 97. Great racing up here. But a lot of these guys settling out, maybe getting ready for their pit stop, getting everybody on the inside lane.
Yeah, it's late packs, only 9 trucks now. We had at one point, it was about 25 or so, probably about 10, maybe 15 laps tops ago. And now over the course of the racing with that we saw during the commercial break of the lap traffic getting in the way basically on that top side, that really split this group up right now. 18 trucks currently shown on the lead lap, so definitely of the 36 that decided to start this race here tonight, and obviously a bunch of them already out of the race, pulling behind the wall. But out of all those trucks that made it, only 18 still left on the lead lap. That just shows you a lot of carnage, and also at the same time, it just shows that a lot of different strategy, and when it comes down to it, and a lot of speed, because we've only had that one caution here so far tonight.
Yeah, that one caution has presented some weird strategy. It looks like these guys may have to pit with about 5 laps to go, get a splash of gas, and pull off pit road. They can make it now, but you're a sitting duck if you pit by yourself. And looks like Jason Anderson in that 92 pitting in, but he's one of the cars damaged. He's put back, looks like to the 18th position, last car on the lead lap. So that's not one of the drivers as these guys fan out going down the back straightaway, almost 3 wide.
Yeah, they're definitely not taking it easy before the end of this thing, or not waiting to the end to make it a race right now. As the 91 of Doy Woods now leads that top side. He's got Fuller right behind him. Elwood looks like he might get credit for a lap led this time by, but the 91, he's going to try, but he's not going to get Elwood. Going to finally lead a lap here at the Daytona 150, and we're closing in. They're talking, we've heard chatter over the radio. It sounds like most of these guys, somewhere around the 10 to 5 laps to go mark. So that's another 10 laps or so, 10 to 15 laps, or excuse me, another 10 laps, probably 5 laps before these guys have to start coming down pit road. So it'll be interesting to see if they wait that long or if some of these guys will start coming in the next couple of laps. But then the question is, do you take tires or you just stick with what you got, Gabe, and just put enough fuel to make it to the end?
Well, I think with this amount of time left, if they do decide to pit, I think it's going to be a gas and go, really. It's the only real option. Andy, we were talking about the draft model earlier, and iRacing updated a couple times over the offseason, NASCAR offseason. It's pretty accurate. I was down there in Daytona for the ARCA race and the Unlimited. It's very accurate. You'd see the drivers on the inside lane pull out and, get about a car length. But as soon as they get to the tri-oval, that outside lane comes by, and we saw Eric Jones do that in the ARCA race. He was able to get by Cole Custer, for a majority of the first half of that race.
Well, it's good to know that it's pretty similar to the, that just shows you as the 52 gets in the wall, gets a little tight off of the turn number 2 there. That's a lap down machine. Trying to get it back going here, but we're going to stay green flag racing here as we cross the line this time. 10 laps to go. Pit stops are going to have to be made by these top guys. You talked about making friends and coming down. You don't want to come down by yourself. These guys really have about a 6-7 second lead over that 10th spot and the rest of the guys on that lead lap. So of these 9 drivers, they really got to be in communication with each other, with the spotters, with everybody involved. Just try to figure out, they don't want to come down by themselves. You're probably better off in a pack of 3 or at least more. But we'll see what happens as this thing starts to move towards the end of it. This time by, there'll be only 9 to go.
Andy, from what I'm seeing, it looks like everybody's pitting in 66. Yep, and there goes everybody, the back half of this top 5, or the top pack. Only 4 cars left. First one of those to come down is the 99 of Tommy Ryan. 19 and the 60 going to the grass, coming off pit road.
Yeah, it looks like 5 of the top 9 decided to come down this lap. You'll probably see the rest of them come down the following lap. We'll follow a couple of these guys. Looking at the 99 right now, Tommy Ryan coming into his pit box. The 19 also into his pit box. He's scored laps down. That's all it was, a splash of fuel, and they're off and running right now. So all these guys making that last-ditch effort, that last call right here. Now the whole key is getting back up to speed and how quickly they can do it before this pack comes around. The 5, though, leading that pack, the leaders right now, they're going to come down pit road. It looks like this time the rest of them, the top 4 now, they're going to come down pit roads. They almost go looking 3 wide, and a 51 overshoots pit road entry. That's probably a speeding penalty right there. Plus he hit the cone. Possible unsafe pit entry for that 51. Something we talked about is mistakes on green flag pit stops. Hopefully that 51, it didn't catch him. He overshoots his stall, has to back up also. Some more trouble for him. The 5, splash and go. The 91 of Doy Woods, also a splash and go in Monteferrante. But the 51, I think his race is all done now.
Only mistake that he makes himself all night, and it comes with 8 to go. So unfortunate for the 51 of Justin Fuller. But that 5 of Alan Elwood, starting in that 18th position, he's going to lead them coming off pit road. And depending on where these guys come out, Andy, where are the guys who pitted the first time?
The leaders are coming around right now, so they're coming close. These guys need to get up to speed quickly. It looks like Doy Woods now going to that top side, going to try to get around the 5 of Alan Elwood as they go back into turn number 3. Monteferrante kind of off of this draft currently right now. They're going into turn number 3. Here comes the group now, the 99. They're into turn number 3. They're in the picture now as they start to close in now, and these guys takes them about a lap when they're by themselves like this to really get up to speed. So I think the 91 and the 5 are okay, but that second pack, or what I should say, the second half of the first pack that pitted first, here they come now up into the mix. 36 is gonna latch on Bentley Glazer to the backside of Monteferrante there, so that's gonna give him help. And it looks like we're gonna have about a 6-truck battle here for the race win, as we got 7 laps, make it 6.5 as they rumble off turn 2.
99 with the 25 behind him, working that outside lap truck on the inside. Looks like 46, I believe, or somebody down there on the inside gets out of the way of the leaders. But now we've got a one true pack. That 97 able to get up there. 99 almost hits the wall. Tommy Ryan keeps it off the fence. That 5 truck, he's going for the lead again.
He is, and he's doing it almost all by himself. He's got a little bit of help from Monteferrante. He's going to get that lap led right there that time by. 6 laps to go here as they work our way to the close of this Daytona 150, the season opener of the inaugural season for the SegPay ASCORS Truck Series, and looking like some little bit of racing going on there, even for that 4th spot there. Almost taking it 3 wide was Leighton Sibbles for that 6th spot currently that he runs right now. And now at this point, it's just pretty much find that lane. You want to be a leader of one of these lanes as you come down. My guess is you want to be on that top side. As you see the 5 of Elwood deciding to stay up there. Even though he has Doy Woods cleared on the bottom, he decides to stay on that top side. I think they all know that top side really gives you the advantage off the corner. We can see that now. Elwood with Monteferrante on his back bumpers. We're on board the 5 now as he does drop down to the bottom now. He's going to pick up the draft of Doy Woods in that 91. Monteferrante's left to the outside with Tommy Ryan in that 99. So 2 trucks in a small pack like this, I think 2 trucks can get it done. They just got to get up there and get pushing.
Yeah, a pack this small, 2 trucks can get it done as the 91 moves to the outside. 5 truck comes with him. They're going to pull the crossover. 97 goes to the apron down the back straightaway. 91, we're 3 wide for the lead. 5, 91, 97, push from the 36 down the back straightaway. Looks like that's going to be race control on the horn.
Yeah, the race control just told the 97 he's got to give that spot back. Oh, the caution's out on the speedway. And we're coming to the line here. There's only going to be 4 to go, and that's probably going to do this here, and we'll see. The 97's going to have to give that position, so we'll see what happens here. But it looks like Doy Woods might come out of this thing as the winner.
Yeah, Andy, that's a problem. Because the 97, according to race control, he illegally took that position. And he going to finish this race in the lead, so he may have not just lost a couple of positions. He may get put to the end of the longest line.
Yeah, looking back at what that cause of that caution was, it looks like the 51, the 72, they were involved in this one here. The 70, oh wow, the 72 of Lewis Calder just hit the apron going into turn number 1. Hopefully we can get the replay up there. That truck just shot up to the right, took the 51 out. 2 guys that were battling for this win here late in the race, Justin Fuller and Lewis Calderon, both of them were in that front pack, and now they're going to both find themselves multiple laps down here as we wind this thing down. So that was the caution going into turn number 1 as the field has caught the pace car now on the back straightaway with 4 laps to go, coming to 3 to go.
And my question still is, what is race control going to do about that 97, Andy?
Honestly, they told him he had to give that spot back. I'm not sure if he gave it back long enough for them to accept that, but right now I think iRacing's scoring is showing him in the lead. So we'll have to, race control, obviously, we'll have to figure that out. But I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that the 97 is going to probably have to give that spot up to Doy Woods. I know iRacing itself is probably showing him as the leader, but because he crossed under that yellow line and race control told him he had to give that spot back, I'm not sure if he gave it back long enough to their liking. We'll have to see how things shape up here, but we'll let that be for the time being, and we'll let these guys shake it out here. But that's going to end it as far as green flag racing. A pretty good race here tonight. I do like the action. I think we saw a lot of great action as far as some 3 wide stuff going on early on. We saw a couple little incidents that probably could have been a caution flag early in the race that just weren't. And then we saw that big one with a couple guys that had direct race trucks there off of turn number off of turn number 4, and that was just something else that we saw. It took out a lot of drivers, a lot of big name drivers that had an opportunity to win this thing here tonight. So I know for a lot of those guys, the 20, Chad Coleman was involved in that wreck, and he was definitely one of those guys. Jason Anderson got some damage later on in that one. So Jason Anderson was one of those guys that definitely had an opportunity to win this thing. Currently, right now, he's showing it looks like he's going to finish it around that 28th spot. So for a truck as fast as he was, and for a truck that was as strong as that 92 truck to see, I'm sure he's very disappointed. And we talked about that earlier in the race, at the beginning of the race in the pre-show, about how this was going to shape up, and how, having a wild card like Daytona as your first race of the season, it's feast or famine at these plate tracks. As we get the 2 to go right there, right now it's still showing that Alex Monteferrante as your race leader. And talked about, I guess, race control. We got word that they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do, but 2 to go right now. And we talked about at the beginning of the pre-race show, Gabe, as far as getting these plate tracks, a wild card like a plate track out of the way. It's such a great place to start a season, but it's one of those things. It's feast or famine. You're either going to run well and you're going to finish good or get a win, but at the same time, for guys that do end up with the win, and right now, like I said, Monteferrante showing your way as your race leader. But for these guys that are up here in that top group, those top 6 that were battling for the win before that caution came out, for those guys, this is a win for them, even if they don't get the actual win. But to get a top 5 finish in the first race of the season at a plate track, that's definitely the right direction that a lot of these guys want to be headed for at the beginning of the season.
Well, yeah, Andy, not only that, just starting the season off well, I think these guys want to get into the part of the schedule where they can control their own destiny. They don't have to worry about plate tracks anymore. They're going to be running up front because they have the speed, not just because of the draft. Not saying the plate tracks are easy, but you cannot really control where you really end up at the end of the race. It's just where every line goes. At Atlanta, Martinsville, the fastest guys will show up and they'll stay up there, and you feel comfortable and control themselves.
Yeah, we just heard race control come over the radios right there and said, even though we're showing the 91 as we get the white flag right here, they're saying the 97 went below the yellow line. He went below the yellow line to make the pass. They told him to give that back, but they didn't. He wasn't given ample enough time to give it back because of the caution flag. So what that did, Gabe, was right now iRacing scores him as the lead, but the race officials are saying basically what's going to happen is the 91 is the winner of this race. Doy Woods, Alex Monteferrante is going to finish in the 2nd spot. So at least for him, he didn't get the win, but at least he's not going to have to finish outside the top 10.
Yeah, they're either going to put him 2nd, from what I heard, 2nd or around about the 6th position where he was, because like you said, he had about half a second to let off the gas before that caution came out. He just had no chance. It's kind of an unfair penalty to send him to the back of the line for something he really couldn't control.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they were saying. They said, because of the circumstances, they couldn't do it. So it looks like it'll be the inaugural race winner is going to be that 91 of Doy Woods. Started 19th. So pretty good job by the 91. Getting up to the front, and that's pretty good. So good job by all these guys up in the front here. We look at all these guys. Only 2 guys that started in the top 10 are going to finish in the top 10 tonight. Of course, that's the 99 of Tommy Ryan. Started 5th, finished 4th, and then, of course, David Krikorian. He started 6th. He's going to finish this race in the 7th spot. But everybody else all worked their way up through the field, all the way from 33rd spot, 35th, 36th. So as we come to the checkered flag, it's going to show Alex Monteferrante in the lead. But after race control made their call, Doy Woods is going to win the Daytona 150 in the inaugural season opening race for the SegPay ASCORS Truck Series. And with that said, we're going to hopefully talk to the top 3 finishers here in just a moment, right here on LSRTV. In the meantime, we're going to step aside. You've been watching the SegPay ASCORS Truck Series right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Ready and fire.
We're back here live at the conclusion of the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series presented by Garrett Smithley Racing. Here from Daytona International Speedway, Doy Woods is your winner, but first we got to talk to a few more drivers. Andy, you've caught up with the 36 of Bentley Glazer.
That's right. I am down here on pit road with the driver of the number 36, Bentley Glazer. And Bentley, pretty strong run for yourself. Started in the 33rd spot. Didn't even qualify, but ultimately come home in a 3rd spot. Got to be pretty pleased and pretty happy with the way race number 1 went for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised about that.
Well, you ended up starting down towards the back of the field, but you were able, obviously, to work your way up through. we had a couple options there, some incidents early on, kind of split the field up a little bit. We didn't have the caution, but then ultimately we had that big caution coming off of turn number 4, and that really kind of really threw a wrench into it. Took a lot of top guys out, gave a lot of guys like yourself that were running towards the back the opportunity to get up to the front and really work your way up through the traffic and find yourself in that last group there before the last round of pit stops to battle for this win.
Yeah, I think I could have had something for him there if that caution didn't come out. It was getting intense up there, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely was, especially from our spot. We see everything, and it looked like a lot of jockey for position. Did you really have any mindset after that pit stop of what you were going to do, or anybody in particular you were trying to work with, or was it just pretty much try to get in the draft and try to get back up to those other two guys that kind of got separated on the pit stop?
Well, I was trying to get in front of those two guys that came out in front of me, and I pulled up, on the track, and then I thought, well, maybe I might get a penalty because I wasn't 100% sure on the rule of getting on the track, but nothing came of it. So, I pushed to try to get to the front, the top two guys that split out a little bit, and then, just tried to do what I could. I was really tight up top, so I was going to stick to the bottom no matter what.
Yeah, and obviously that last pit stop coming with about 7 laps to go. Obviously, it was just a fuel-only stop. How big of a difference was that for you, throwing in fuel but not getting any tires?
Not that big of a difference. I don't know if the tires cooled off or anything, but the car felt better after we came out. Maybe because we weren't in such a big pack, we were going a little slower. I don't know.
Well, obviously the inaugural season for the SegPay Truck Series here for ASCORS, and for yourself, obviously you come into a race like this, it's really a wild card. It's a crapshoot. What's going to happen? You can get caught up in somebody else's mess. You can end up finishing horribly, or you can come out of here with a top 3 like this. How's this for the confidence booster heading into next week?
Oh, it's big confidence boost. I'm not that great at the super speedways. That's kind of why I didn't qualify. I wanted to just feel it out and get comfortable. And I was surprised it's how it worked out. It's a fun race, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it, but I would have probably finished last. That's why I'm up here instead of down there. So congratulations again on third place finish. Obviously, sponsor shout-outs. Who helps you get it done each week?
I got to thank Air Precision Chassis Works. They're a great team. I can't be happier on that team. It's a great group of guys, and I got to thank SegPay and ASCORS League for putting this on, and I'm just happy to be part of it.
Well, we're happy that you're a part of it also, and obviously a third place finish, a good start to the season, but we'll wish you the best of luck in the week to come, and we'll see you at Atlanta.
All right, thank you.
There you have it, third place finisher here tonight at Daytona, and now Gabe is caught up with our second place finisher. It'd be the 97, Alex Monteferrante.
Yep, down here in the 97 pit. Alex, tell us about the final 5 laps they're sitting under caution and right before it.
Well, was an interesting one to say the least. Coming down the backstretch there on what became the final green flag lap, I initially put both left side tires down below the yellow line, and I made every attempt to get back up fully onto the track. I felt as if I wasn't given enough room to get back up. But I knew the second I saw DJ's name pop up on the screen, I knew I'd been busted at that point. I figured they were going to ask me to return the spot back, and I made an attempt to, but then the caution came out. So definitely those last couple laps of riding under caution were pretty dramatic. Overall, though, I am thankful for their decision to place me second and not at the tail end of the longest line like they very well could have. But overall, definitely was a great way to start out the season here in ASCORS. I can't thank Chase Cabry and Geared Up Productions enough for making this all possible. So we'll move on to the next race and hopefully have a little bit of a better result there.
Yeah, Alex, I was seeing in your little pit box there, it looks like you were the only one with a spotter, Chase Cabry. That had to help you at some of the points in this race.
Yeah, it definitely did. Chase was actually gonna race in tonight's event, but he's not home right now. He's away on vacation in Florida, so he hopped on his brother's laptop and was spotting me there. So definitely was a lot of fun, and definitely was a huge help in keeping me up front there.
Alex, yeah, you were talking about sweating bullets there under the caution. That must be kind of a sign of confidence here in the admins of this new league. It's a very old league from the NASCAR racing days, but new to iRacing and officiating stuff. That's got to give you a lot of confidence. You know, you didn't have time to give that back the positions, and they were very fair about it.
Oh, absolutely. And thus far, even just in planning this whole season out, the admins have been great. And they've proven tonight that they do run a great show. And again, I am thankful for their decision. While I don't 100% agree with it, obviously, because the win got taken away. Um, I am thankful for their decision that they made not to place me at the tail of the end of the lead lap. And definitely it does leave you with a lot of confidence moving forward. You know the league's going to be run fairly. You know everyone's going to be placed under the same rules, and just really makes the racing environment fair, clean, and real fun.
One last question. No, we got Atlanta, Martinsville, Kansas, Dover, Charlotte. The next few races there on this calendar. Any of those dates stand out to you?
Martinsville for sure. Martinsville is by far my favorite track, and I have a lot of fun racing there. And think I'll be pretty confident going into there. I think I'll have a good shot at bringing home our number 97 geared up production Chevy with a good result there.
Well, you almost did my job for me. Any sponsors you want to thank?
Well, obviously, Geared Up Productions for coming on, making this whole truck series possible. If you haven't already, go to YouTube and check out Geared Up Productions. Chase makes some fantastic racing videos up there. Also, a big shout out to Daniel Eberhardt and hashtag Pink Ribbon, as well as Aaron Grosskopf and King Motorsports Media.
All right. Alex, congratulations. That's the number 97. Alex Monteferrante finished the second. Andy, you've made your way to victory lane.
Yeah, I have made my way to victory lane, and quite a fun place to be, obviously, for the first race of the season to come home with a victory. And I'm here now with the winner of the race, Doy Woods. And Doy, it was kind of interesting there. When the caution fell, it didn't show you as the race leader, but under the rules and passing under the yellow, it definitely gave you the advantage. They did score you as the winner, and to win the inaugural race in the first race out here at the Daytona International Speedway, it's got to be a pretty cool thing for you.
It's unbelievable to win the opening of Speed Weeks and be a ASCORS veteran and to come back and kick it off the way the team did. It's awesome. I can't be much thrilled.
Well, obviously you start the season off with a win. You come to a play track. It's one of those games, highs, lows. You start at 19th. You end up finishing in the top spot. But when you come into a race like this, just the factor of anything can happen. Starting in the middle of the pack, probably not exactly where you wanted to start, but you made the best of it, and you were able to get yourself to the front pretty quickly.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys I drafted with did a heck of a job of knowing what to do and give and take, and there was some guys out there, I can't name every name, but there was a lot of give and take out there around me of what I saw, and the guys up front did a really good job of not us all wrecking there at the end. Granted, the outcome was pretty, heads up, a coin flip, but everybody did a great job there.
That they did. Obviously, like you said, a veteran to ASCORS, but to this inaugural truck series here sponsored by SegPay, to come home with the win at Daytona to begin the season. Obviously, the confident boost heading into Atlanta. Atlanta's an awesome racetrack for these trucks. It always puts on some good racing. Size up that place as we head there next week.
Well, the tires seem to be falling off there. That track normally eats up a lot of tires. It's going to be real line sensitive to be able to really find the trick to go around there fast on old tires, and we definitely going to get a lot of green flag runs, green flag pit stops for sure. So it's going to be a big monster to try to overcome and win, but I think we're going to try and do it.
Well, the confidence obviously is there, getting the win here tonight, and to do that, and then obviously to have a good run next week just kicks off the season. that much better for you as we go along. But with that said, congratulations again on your win here at Daytona, and sponsor shout outs. Who helps you get it done?
Well, the Quality Care Toyota, of course, and of course the guy that makes it look pretty, JD, does an awesome job making it look pretty. I think it gives it 2 more tenths on speed, and all the guys back at the shop, Chad Coleman, Pedro Majica, dialing it on in, getting it set up just right. Just awesome job back at the shop. I can't be much happier to drive the 91 Toyota.
Well, there you have it. Congratulations again. We'll see you in Atlanta next week. There you have it. Our winner here tonight at Daytona for the Daytona 150, the inaugural truck series for ASCORS, the SegPay truck series. And Gabe, I think, for the most part, we probably could have had a couple more cautions mixed into there with some of the action that happened early on, but the green flag stayed out, and ultimately we had some green flag pit stops. We had some great racing, a lot of 2-wide action, a lot of 3-wide action. That got pretty crazy. Probably could have seen more wrecks during some of that happened, but this class of drivers, this field that we have, and the talent that's in this field that's going to be here all season long, it's pretty amazing to see some of the saves the guys did. It's real tough to keep these trucks under control when you're going almost 200 miles an hour, and they did a great job all night, and some great racing, good calls by the race control and the administrators that, of that call at the end there that ultimately gave Doy Woods the win. And I think overall it was a fantastic start to what's going to be a really good season.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm going to pull away from this is how firm but fair the admin and the race control really is. Because if you saw, they were enforcing penalties left and right of guys, just messing up and making mistakes according to the rule book. But when it came down to it, they were very fair with their judgment, as I said before, and they gave Alex Monteferrante second place instead of sending him to the end, and I really like that.
Yeah, I do too, and I think the reason they gave him that opportunity was just because of the fact when the caution came out. So it didn't give him an opportunity to give those spots back. So I think it was an outstanding call. Obviously, like Alex said, he was a little disappointed, but who wouldn't be? You got the win, quote unquote, taken away from you, but at the same time, he ultimately got the best finish possible under the circumstances. So for him, obviously moving on to next week, like he said, at Atlanta, he's looking forward to it, and to get a second place points night, definitely a good start to the season. But with that, let's give him a full field rundown right now of how things went tonight. We talked to him just a second ago. Doy Woods coming home as your winner. Alex Monteferrante finished in that second spot. Bentley Glazer came home third tonight. Fourth went to Tommy Ryan. Alan Elwood finished in that fifth spot. Leighton Sybil finished sixth. Seventh went to David Krkorkian. J.D. Laird came home in that eighth spot. Ninth went to James Shipman. Byron Daly finished out in 10th.
Rich Jett in that 7 is going to finish the first car outside the top 10. 12th is going to go to David Ankini in that 12th position, that 30 truck. Justin Weaver, we saw him making some moves up front, fell back toward the end, finishes in 13th. 14th is going to go to Richard Beasley. Jason Galvin in that 15th position, that 42 truck. James Taylor in the 46 finishes in 16th. First car, one lap down, 44 of Logan Clampett in that 17th position. Stephen O'Rourke in 18th. Scott Mitten in 19th, and Mason Baker in 20th.
56, Dustin Linger, who we saw run up front the majority of this race. He ends up finishing that 21st spot. 22nd went to Tyler Dalton. Alan Pryor finished in the 23rd. 24th went to Justin Fuller. Louis Calderon finished in the 25th spot. 26th went to David Scoville. John Wilco finished in the 27th spot. 28th on the board here tonight was Jason Anderson, one of those trucks that we really thought was going to be a contender for the win. The 74 of Michael Guest finished at 29th. And 30th went to Robert Fitzpatrick.
31, Alan Lewis, saw him up front a lot as well. Among other these guys, that's a really big story. Just these guys running up front and get taken out toward the end. Chad Coleman, we saw him in that very bizarre incident with that 32 truck getting involved, and just, unfortunate end for him. Jordan Hightower in that 22, your pole sitter, and then outside pole, Brian Schoenberg in that second position. Those guys finished 33rd and 34th. 35th is going to go to Joshua Geyer, and the one at Trey Edson is going to finish in 36, 57 laps down.
And that was your full field rundown here tonight for the Daytona 150 for the inaugural season. Race number 1 for the ASCORS SegPay truck series here, presented by Garrett Smithley Racing. And of course, we couldn't say it at all, but we want to thank the truck series, who obviously was here on LSRTV. And it's brought to you, of course, by SegPay. For over 10 years, SegPay has been processing online payment transactions for merchants in all categories, with a specialization in helping retailers process credit card transactions. They are the leader in card not present transactions and have strong relationships with acquiring banks and with credit card schemes. Learn more at segpay.com. And of course, Garrett Smithley Racing, the proud sponsor of Garrett Smithley and the number 0 JD Motorsports, Chevy Camaro in the Xfinity Series in NASCAR. And of course, for more information on the league, go to ASCORSRacing.com on the web. I'd like to thank the league administrator, Brian Schoenberg, and of course the series director, DJ Lyon, with everything they do as far as putting the league up and with race control. You can stay up to date with LSRTV, of course, online at our webpage at livesimracing.com, and of course on Facebook at facebook.com/livesimracingtv. Well, Gabe, with that said, closing thoughts as we head now from Daytona. We get all the nerves out of the way. The season's underway. Race 1's done. Now we can all focus on our next 11 races here as we start it all off next week in Atlanta.
Yeah, with the way these guys raced, I've only got one statement. I'm ready for Atlanta. It's just, these guys, they race so well here at Daytona, and I just can't wait to see them race in round number 2 at Atlanta.
Yeah, we talked about the pre-race, all the mix of tracks, the short tracks, the 1.5 miles, the 1 mile tracks, the tricky triangle in Pocono that we're going to race at the end of the season. What a way to end the season, race number 12 at Pocono. So we got a lot of great things coming, obviously, on Wednesday nights, and hopefully all of you can tune in right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. But with that said, for Cisco Scaramouza down in the production trailer, for Gabriel Wood, I'm Andy Kessler. You've been watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.